Thank you, Jojo. Welcome everyone to the Isotonics panel. We are so excited to have you here with us today. Before we go into the panel proper, let us have an introduction from our speakers. So maybe we can have Charlene to start things off.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Charlene. I'm a nutritional consultant, and for the past 10 over years, I've been working with clients on their health management, teaching them how to eat, teaching them how to live better, and definitely recommending them the nutritional supplements that they may be lacking in their life. And I started my journey with marketsingaporeshop.com about 5 years ago.
Wow, thank you, Charlene. How about David?
Hi, good afternoon. My name is David. I'm a precision nutrition coach and also a TLS weight management trainer. Just a bit about myself. 6 years ago, my dear wife, Christine, left a corporate job as an engineer and to retire and stay home as a Tai. And we thank God that in 2014, we get to know about shop.com, and that has become our lifestyle. And the reason why shop.com is such a great thing is because it can give an average person an above average ongoing income by just following the system. So I encourage everyone to pursue this journey along.
Awesome. Thank you, David. Emily?
My name's Emily, and I work full-time in the church, but my background in terms of my university major was in pharmacology. And that was when I discovered that, every drug comes with side effects. So since then, I've always been looking out for quality supplements to, supplement my diet so that I can stay in the best of health. And so after I was introduced to Market America, the first thing I did was to go onto the company website and also the shop.com site. And to my amazement, I saw in the site that, every single product had an abundance of information. And I love the fact that every ingredient is science-based, and the wonderful idea of just, drinking your supplement, is like a drinkable IV. And so since it wasn't going to cost me an arm and leg, without hesitation, I registered the business as soon as the emerging market program was launched in Singapore. And I have to say, I haven't been disappointed. The business has really given me a residual income, better health, inside and outside for myself, my family, and countless other people that I share this with.
Thank you, Emily. And last but not least, we have Sarah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah. A little bit different from the rest of the panelists. I didn't come from a background that is with nutrition and all these things. I'm from an economics background. Upon graduation, I get to know about shop.com business first prior to Isotonics. So the business model of the ongoing income and then how we can actually use an e-commerce platform to generate ongoing income, it really attracts me. I was looking for multiple sources of income, and that's how I actually get to know about shop.com. And before going into the business, right, because we need to understand what's the products that we carry. So I get to know about isotonics, and then after it really helps me a lot. Even though I didn't know about nutrients, but I realized that everybody actually needs a good supplementation. So that's how I get into this isotonics journey.
Awesome. And we all heard about a lot of the isotonics journey. So maybe now, before we really dive into the more serious questions, let us ask them a very simple, but yet actually quite challenging question. We want to know what their favorite products are. So maybe we can start off with Sarah. What's your favorite isotonics product and why?
Okay, sure. So the very first products that I get to know is actually digestive enzymes. Digestive enzymes was really an amazing thing to me because I was having a lot of indigestion, stomach bloatedness, and many problems with the stomach for many years. So I thought I had some gluten sensitivity or even some allergies. I even went for endoscopy, but the doctor says that nothing happened. The result out was normal. So until one day when I started taking isotonics, digestive enzymes, for 3 months, for 3 months, I take it day and night. I realized one day I woke up and my stomach is flat. My tummy is flat, okay? So some people say, hey, how come I lose weight, that kind of thing. But I realized that it's because of the digestive enzymes that help with my digestion. It gives me much better digestion that, with all the things, because of all the irregular meals and also eating too fast, sometimes I have a lot of all these problems. So digestive enzymes helps me a lot. So that would be one of my favorite products.
Sounds good. I think a lot of Singaporeans would love digestive enzymes because we love to eat so much. How about David? What's your favorite product and why?
Well, I love all the isotonic range of products. And therefore, but if there's only one product I need to choose, one of the product that is a must-have in my daily isotonic regime is actually coenzyme Q10. Coenzyme Q10 helps to maintain strong heart muscle, normal blood pressure, and help increase energy. And the reason coenzyme Q10 can do that is because this particular increased substance is actually part of the energy production of a human cell, something we call the mitochondria. And it is also a very strong antioxidant. Now, in our body, we have all the coenzyme Q10 produced by our body, but the highest concentration is in the heart, the liver, the kidneys, and the pancreas. But the issue is coenzyme Q10 produced our body reaches a maximum when we are at the age of 20 to 21. And after that, it will decline with age. Therefore, for me, when I supplement with coenzyme Q10 on a daily basis, it sustains my energy, keeps my heart strong every day. And that also makes me feel young, looks young, and age becomes just like a number. I'm sure you like that as well.
Wow, no wonder you're always so full of energy. So if you want to be so full of energy like David, then coenzyme Q10 is something you have to try and include into your isotonics experience. All right, so next we have Emily. What's your favorite product and why?
Well, I love all our isotonics products, but if I had to just pick one, it would have to be OPC3 because that was the first product that I experienced its benefits. You see, about 6 months before the Market Singapore was opened, or actually the emerging market program, I experienced a severe knee joint pain, suddenly one day out of the blue. And it persisted for months. And I really thought I'm going to be limping for the rest of my life. And then a month after I registered the business, I developed a tennis elbow. And I remember hearing somebody sharing how the OPC3 helped him with his golf elbow. So I thought, well, maybe if I were to increase my OPC3, that may relieve me on my tennis elbow. But lo and behold, 2 months after I started taking the OPC3, not only did my tennis elbow disappear, but also my knee joint pain. I hadn't, attended any product training then, not realizing that the reason why OPC3 was so effective is because it's such a strong antioxidant, and it acts as an anti-inflammatory, improves your blood circulation, and it even promotes synthesis of hyaluronic acid that acts as a lubricant for your joints. So you can be sure that OPC3 is a regular item in my daily supplement.
Yeah. Nice. Thank you, Emily. Last but not least, we have Charlene.
Oh, okay. When we were asked this question, frankly, I believe all the fellow panelists agree, it's so difficult to choose because we are all unfranchised business owners and we have belief in the products. We are the product of the product. So when I really have to choose, I have all the isotonics, but I just want to say one product today, which is isotonic magnesium, because I've realized that a lot of us are not having magnesium in our diet. And magnesium is so necessary and essential for our muscle function, our nerves function, as well as keeping us feeling good. So I used to suffer from migraine and the occasional headache, and I always have to use painkiller. And those painkillers are basically paracetamol or what we call Panadol in Singapore. And I usually have to use them and then go to bed. But ever since isotonic magnesium came into Singapore, I use it. All I have to do is just to take 1 to 2 caps, and within 15 to 20 minutes, my headache will be gone. Wow. That's how wonderful it is. And I encourage everyone to have a bottle of isotonic magnesium at home in your refrigerator. It could be your first aid someday.
Wow, that's very powerful. Thank you, Charlene. I think all of us now will have to add on magnesium into our first aid, right? Okay, so now that we have gotten in, the introduction and also a light and simple question on what they like best, now we're going slightly deeper. We're diving deeper into the more serious questions, and to really understand more about isotonics, its delivery system and their own personal experiences of, dealing with it and also with the customers. I would like to first ask Charlene about your how did you find out about isotonics in the first place? Because I know you were always looking for the best supplements for your clients. So how was your isotonics journey like?
Actually, all these years, I have been working in, as I mentioned, teaching people about health and all that. And I used to work with a very good supplier that supplies to health professional, health solutions, supplements. So back then, I believe I was the nasty one who's always asking the supplier, do you have this? Do you have that? Well, do you have a better B complex? Do you have a better calcium and stuff like that? So I was at a bottleneck whereby I had a few clients who needed more solutions in terms of nutritional support. And but the supplier wasn't able to give me what I wanted. So I think the manager working with that supplier remember me. And she actually became an unfranchised business owner with shop.com. And she told me about shop.com, but she didn't mention much about isotonics. But what happened was she showed me the website. I took a look and I thought, it got to be maybe one of those things that I didn't want to do back then. So she did something that was very right, that I'm grateful to her until today. She sold me a ticket. And she said, this event is something that you will be interested in. Since you have been teaching people how to eat, how to be healthy, maybe you should take a look at how other people are doing it. So I went there and I asked her how much is the ticket. She said, it's $60, it's a full day. And the minute I got there, I said, no, that's the $60. I'm paying you back, so no obligation. And my husband actually dropped me off at that event that day. And I told him, dear, can you please pick me up at lunch? Send me a text and I will go down and we will go for a good lunch together. Then my husband said, I thought it's a full day event. You're going to be there for the whole day. I said, no, it could be one of those things. I'll just go and see what people are doing. And that's about it. And when I sat through the seminar, I saw this guy. He was speaking on stage, training, delivering wonderful information. And he's none other than Douglas Mizzi. And he was telling us about the science behind isotonic, the technology. And the instant when I heard that, I was thinking, isn't that exactly what I was looking for? I had a handful of clients who couldn't even absorb basic nutrients. So how are they going to eat their food if they don't have this support? And long story short, I went home, I registered my business, and the first people whom I put isotonics on are myself, my husband, my mom, and my sister. And I saw tremendous results just from one dose. So my sister has an interesting story. She said, there is no haze recently, you know. And I said, no, there hasn't been haze in Singapore for a long time. It was like PSI 56. And she said, but it's different. I could see very clearly. So that gave me lots of confidence for me to actually embark and be with shop.com, Market Singapore, Market America, all this while.
Wow, Charlene, I have two things to comment. Firstly, what a great husband who you can just say, come earlier or come later, you know. And secondly, I remember Douglas Mizzi. I met him at a product symposium once. I really highly recommend that to learn more about the products and also the science and the research behind it. Now I would like to ask Sarah, who do not have a nutrition background, how was your isotonics journey like?
Okay, so I get to know about the business first before the products. So when I still remember when the very first day when the box actually came to our house, and then it was like so many isotonics with a lot of different colors. Then I was like asking my sponsor, who is Candice, I was like, why do we need to take so many? I was like, huh? How do I even know when should I take anything, you know? So that was my first impression. But of course, I started with digestive enzymes, and I really loved it. And then I also get to know about OPC3 and all right, and which is like very yummy because of the berries. So initially when I started going into isotonics, I realized that a lot of us, especially without any nutrition background, we do not know why do we need to take some of all these supplementations. That's why we wondering, like, antioxidant, there is a few kinds, should I just choose one enough, or I should have a few? So all these things actually I started to get to know from all the product seminar. I went to the GMTSS, all the sharing of all the professionals, and then like some of here, all our very professional speakers. I learned a lot from them. I started to realize that everybody actually needs to have a proper supplementation, because especially people at a younger age, we thought that we are very young, so we do not need to have a lot of things, because we are still very good in our health. But after I get to know more about all this knowledge, I start to realize it is not so true, because all this supplementation and taking care of our body, we start from young. We start young so that we can age gracefully. So when I started to go back into all this supplementation, I started to pick on what are the things that are actually suitable for myself and also for my family. And then we start to supplement ourselves better because of all the eating irregular times, irregular meals, and all the vitamins that is not enough for ourselves. So after I started using it, I introduced to my family as well, and everybody love it because it's so tasty.
Oh wow. I'm similar to you. I started the business first and then I found out about the products, and through all the information, all the classes, that's when I started to get a different understanding of supplementation. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Right now, right? So we know that isotonics is great. We know how we can get to know more about isotonics. I also want to know, how then do we introduce it to the people around us without having to sound salesy or pushy, right? So I want to know actual examples or real life experiences from these speakers here. Maybe I can start with David. How do you share with people, and what are your experiences like?
Oh, sure. I like to use the eye, the ears, and the mouth. In other words, observe, listen, and then share. I have a friend who I never met for a while, and when I met him for dinner, I can see that he has difficulties sitting down, moving around, at the close confine of the table and chairs. So I asked him, he told me that he had rheumatoid arthritis, and also he had also recently fell off his bed, and therefore he got pain over his joints. So I listened to what he said carefully, and then I share my concern about the condition he's in, and I also recommended some supplement that could help him. And beside OPC3 that Emily talked about, I recommended to him one of our very good isotonic range, which is the isotonic bromelain plus. And also for long term, I suggest to him that he should use the Prime Joy Support Formula as well. Well, he took my recommendation, and that helped him in his recovery. But sometimes I come across people who doesn't believe in supplements. And my strategy and my constant go-to is always going to bring them to education. So I bring them to nutrition product overview, or digestive and health, or even eye health, or any other GEM PSS event that promotes or share on information on our supplements. I believe that education will broaden their mind and make them aware that their need for supplements is therefore a critical piece of information that they must know. All right. So, for instance, I conducted nutrition talk, and then there was this lady that after the talk, and that was post-COVID, when after the talk, she came forward and asked me about some supplements recommendation. Now, before the talk, she doesn't take supplement at all. So after the talk, kind of opened up her mind that, well, supplement is essential now in today's kind of diet and the nutrient density that's so poor. And therefore, she was keen to pick up some supplement for herself based on what I've shared. And I point her to our shop.com with range of supplements, and she made her own choice. She chose our daily essential kit, which is the best foundation kit a person should start off with. So that is the power of education.
I 100% agree with you. And I remember going to one of David's classes and he thought about the squirt. So it's about, your stomach having the valve that will help you to open the valve if you have enough, the digestion, and it's the same pressure as your blood fluid. So I love the classes. I also bring friends, family, and potential prospects as well. Awesome. How about, can we get Emily? You love to research so much. So what do you do when you want to share that with other people?
Actually, personally, I really don't like to sell, but I'm ever ready to share whenever people ask me. So I believe that, first of all, we need to be the product of the product, as Charlene said. And I'm sure many of you who have taken our isotonics product would have experienced the benefits, and people around you would have noticed the difference in you. So I often have people asking me, what is it that gives you so much energy that you can do so many things at the same time? Or sometimes people who I haven't seen for some time would say, how come you never age? So these open up opportunities for me to actually share with them about products. The other is to learn to ask questions when you're with people. So for example, be complimentary, look at people, they're looking good, say, oh, you're looking good, do you take supplements? Or if they're looking tired or run down, don't say you're looking tired, but ask, how are you, And that's what I did with a friend who came to my house for a meeting, and he really looked tired. So I asked him, how are you feeling? He said, oh, very long day, I'm really exhausted. Do you take supplements? I asked. And he looked at me, he said, supplements? You mean those big fat tablets that my wife likes to give me every morning? That I find it so difficult to swallow and it tastes horrible. I don't like to take supplements, he said. And so I just went to the kitchen quietly and made a little isotonics cocktail for him, offered it to him as a drink. He took it and he said, "This is supplement? Oh, I can take this. It tastes nice." And subsequently, he bought a set of daily essentials kit. He tried it, and within 2 weeks, I got a text from him saying, "Emily, I feel so alive." And that just made my day. But for people who already are taking supplements, then I would just share with them, like Dr. D say, educate them about the benefits of our isotonics products. I just usually list about 3 key features, as simple as ABC. A, for amazing ingredients because they are pharmaceutical grade quality and usually are naturally derived. B, for body fluids, because this isotonic drink is like our body fluids, so we're able to absorb it very easily. And C will be for cost, because we're always concerned about money. And so I would normally do a little cost comparison. I share with them that isotonics come without binders or fillers, and it's just an isotonic liquid that doesn't need to be broken down and doesn't need to be diluted with our digestive juice. And so our body is able to absorb even up to 95% of the active nutrients, as compared to say 20 to 30% of the traditional supplements that come in capsule or tablet form. And so I give them this value proposition. If I pay $1 and I can get 95 cents back, as compared to 20 to 30 cents back, which is better value. So cost is very important. And that's how I normally share with them, just ABC.
Wow, I hope you guys are taking down notes. There's lots of golden nuggets there. As easy as ABC, that's first time I'm hearing it, but it's super good. I'm going to copy that. Awesome. I would like to hear from Sarah, because you are young. How do you share about isotonics and to the people around you who maybe they don't believe in supplements as much?
Yes. When I started this business, especially when we get to know about like isotonics is one of the most popular range of products in shop.com. I ponder a while, like, oh yeah, so how do I actually start to share with my friends? Because a lot of people they may feel like what David has mentioned, some people they feel like, oh, like this is something like a medication, or they refuse to take it. They feel that they will probably take something that is more natural, which is from food. So they have this kind of misconception. So after I get to understand a little bit more, I always understand about like pharmaceutical is about drugs, right? But what we are doing right now is actually nutraceuticals. Nutraceuticals is really taking nutrients out from, how do you take out from the food, something that is lacking in your daily dietary, so that you can actually supplement it and to help you to actually attain, to provide whatever that your body actually needs on a daily basis. So when I myself actually experienced the testimonies of digestive enzymes, I was very confident in the products and also the delivery system. I started to share with my families. And at the same time, I feel that a lot of people, especially my girlfriends around me, people at my age, they may not have like a lot of very, like serious kind of illnesses, but they will definitely have something like a menses cramp, migraine, like sleeping late, indigestion, like myself. So these are all the little things that I picked up from my friends, and then I start to share with them. So I share my testimonies, my stories, and let them know that, hey, something I found that it actually helped me. Do you want to try out? So once they actually taste it and they say like, hey, actually it's really tasty, and at the same time they don't feel like they are like sort of like taking medication, right? So it changes their perspective at the same time. So besides that, actually my family members really helped me quite a fair bit, because both my parents, at their age, they actually also consume quite a number of supplementation. So a lot of their friends, like what Emily mentioned, they say, that, hey, how come, they look so good? You like never age, your energy is always there. So because of my family, my parents, they actually introduces a lot of customers to me. Yeah, so it's like a referral. So I always feel like, if you really have that kind of heart to really do this business, and you be the product of the product, you use your product, you experience it yourself, the product will speak. And from there, people will get to know, and then they will tell, and then they will start to share, because they actually experience the benefit. Yeah, so that's how I started.
Nice. I have a similar experience as well. My mom and my grandma it took them a while, but after they started to learn a bit more about the products and they start to benefit from some, they go and share it with people. So not just the 3 generations in my family use it, even friends or family also use like the isotonics products. So now we have learned, right, some ways that we can approach our friends, our family. How can we share isotonics and its delivery system with them? I want to then now dive even deeper to know how can we execute certain trial size or trial size sampling, trial size marketing to the people around us. So maybe I'll pick Charlene's brain first. How do you execute trial size sampling?
Okay, I believe the best way to share product is not just to share information, but also to share the product itself. So I am very big on letting people try the product. Visitors to my home knows that there is no beverages in my house. There's only water, coffee, and tea, and then isotonics. So much as you sneeze or cough in my house, isotonics goes into your face. So I even have young visitors who come with their own carbonated drinks, and I ask him, "Why do you buy auntie this?" He said, "No, because your house don't have this, and I need this." So so whenever visitors come over, I always offer them isotonics. I believe that is the best way to actually share isotonics with your immediate family members and move on to the next household. Okay, so I have to share this story about one customer. She is very big on nutritional supplements, and she has supplements from any brand you have heard of, she has tried before. So she's big on that. But I wanted her to try our isotonics, and I explained to her the details, the brochure, and all that. And she bought OPC3 and a couple of calcium and multivitamin. A week later, I followed up with her. She said, "Not nice." She said, "The OPC tastes a little bit flat." You know, she said in Chinese, she said, "It's not so nice." And I said, "Okay, let's come over to my house and have a little gathering in the afternoon." And what I did was I actually opened up every bottle of isotonics that I have, and I let her try one by one. But I mixed the OPC3 with multivitamin and ORAC to let her take. And she was like, "Why your OPC is so different?" And I educate her and I explain to her that's because OPC is a base antioxidant in terms of a supplement where you can actually advance it, add on, and level up by adding whatever that you need. What do you need now? Build your immunity or ORAC or vitamin C, or you want to support your bones health, you can have calcium, you can have magnesium. And that make her a very loyal customer for all these years. So I believe in sharing the product this way. I even do things like pouring them out into little bottles before we had our sachet. And I used to buy a milk powder dispenser for babies just to put the daily essentials kit inside to pass to friends to try.
Nice. Thank you, Charlene. Now we also want to maybe see from another perspective, a different way of doing trial size. How about Emily? How do you do it?
Well, when we started emphasizing on the trial size marketing, I realized that that's what I've been doing actually from day one since I started this business. You see, prior to isotonics, I would never have thought of giving people tablets, to try. But with isotonics, it's totally different. You need to experience it, you need to taste it, you need to see how easy it is and how delicious it is. So whenever people share with me their problems, be it physical or emotional, I would just bless them with products and let them try it. And if they experience the goodness of it, they will come back and ask me, where to buy it from. And so that's what I used to do. And no matter what their health condition, like what David mentioned just now, I always recommend the daily essentials because the 4 products in there just provide such a synergistic effect of the nutrients that our body requires every day. But what I used to do is that I used to mix them and put them into a little Ziploc bag, and I pass them to only people I know because they trust me. They know that it's supplement and not some drugs, right? But then I am so thankful the company has now come up with so many products in packet forms. And that's brought the whole trial size marketing into a whole new level for me because now I can pack them into little sample bags like this, and I carry them with me in my bag, and I'm able to share with anybody I meet during the course of the day. I put in my own little flyer with my URL, and then I will follow up with a WhatsApp rather than calling. People don't like to be interrupted, right? I send them the video, and then I send them a link to actually fill up a simple Google form, a survey form. And through that, I've actually been able to have new customers as well as sales, through this. But I'm just so excited that now, launching very soon in Singapore, we will have this very professionally and beautifully prepared daily essentials marketing pack, right? And this is just so well done that it looks so much more presentable than my own homemade ones. And I will be so proud to present this and even mail it to them to try our products.
Thank you so much, Emily. That's such a nice way to show people about our brand as well, like well branded and all. So now we know about isotonics, we know its delivery system, how to introduce it to people, let people try it. Now we also want to know, how do we maintain our customers? Because we don't need that many customers. So how can we make our customers long-term customers? So maybe we can ask David, how do you do that?
Sure. Well, Christine and I, our customers has been with us since day one. And actually, we do not have any special recipe or special secret. What we do is only two things. One is called maintain relationship, R. The second R is being responsive. So this morning, if you heard Michelle talk about relationship, it's a lot of what we also do. It's a KISS principle. We talk about knowing our customers and keeping them in our contact and regularly follow up with them, have socializing with them, because their life station, the life situation might change. So not necessarily what you know about them last year is the same this year. So meeting with them regularly helps you to keep tab of what's going on in their life. Then of course, our intent is not to sell them another product. Our intent is really to care and concern and be a listening ear to what's going on. And being S is also about having solutions. Should they need some solutions? It might be along isotonic, it might be along something else, but we will be ready to provide some advice. And the other S is about service. So the KISS principle is super good when it comes to building that relationship. So we also extend it with the another R called the responsiveness. That means to say that being our customers, we treat them with like a VIP. VIP stands for very important preferred customer. All right. So we treat a VIP, which means to say that anytime they let us know that they need some reorder. Now, our circle of friends come from the age group that doesn't really order online. So they just let us know what they need and we'll do it for them. So sometimes we might be overseas, we might be traveling, and when we receive the information from them that they need a reorder, we will immediately stop what we're doing and do the reorder right away and let them know that the shipment has been done and therefore it's on their way, the order is on their way to their whatever delivery address. So these two are relationship and responsiveness is something that you put them together is KISS your VIP, right?
Wow. Today, convention, we love kissing, I realize. Michelle's segment also had kiss, and now, David sharing about kiss as well. So I guess you've got to be affectionate while running this business. Okay, all seems very rosy and good now. I shall be wearing the black hat at the moment. So I want to know what are some objections, challenges, or commonly asked questions you will face when you're approaching your customers, and how are some, ways that you can overcome it? So I'll let Sarah start us off. What are some, commonly faced objections or questions?
Okay, so there are actually quite a number. So one of it that I often get to ask is hey, how come so sour? So it's so sour, and then after I drink it, like it really cut through my stomach because it's like so acidic, something like this. So actually some people who they may not be so used to taking sour, they if they take certain isotonic by itself, they will find this kind of response. And then and also some people who has stomach sensitivity, when they take it and then someone with the bubble and all these things, they will realize that, oh, I feel a little bit uncomfortable. So I always tell them, like, hey, actually this is isotonics delivery. So if you have any sensitive stomach, why not you take after meals? So you take don't take with empty stomach. So you take after meals. At least you take it slowly, and then you drink bit by bit. It will actually helps you, because some of the isotonics actually they are more into the sweeter one. But if you actually wants to be a little bit more balanced, you can actually mix like some with the berries, and then after that you can mix together. It will taste really, really well. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you can be a mixologist. You can make different cocktails for your friends to try and let them see what's their preference. Or like what Charlene mentioned, just invite them to your place, try everything, which is your favorite, ask them that question. All right. How about Charlene then? What are some objections or commonly asked questions you would face?
I think most of you may have the same objections that I'm going to talk about. And I'll just put two very common ones. Number one is people say it's so sweet. Number two is your product harden, it cake up. So pertaining to the first response, when people say it's very sweet, I often ask back, do you have any issue with taking fruits or anything sweet? Because most people's concern will be, it tastes a little sweet, but they do not understand. So that's when I educate them. Inside, we only use fructose, which is sugar from fruits that are natural. So they are there, like what Dr. Deidre Mason said, is a functional sugar. So can you, if you're concerned about being too sweet, may I know, do you have an issue on consuming something sweet? So if you do, can you take a few grapes a day? So if we are talking about 2 to 5 or even 6 grapes a day, will that be fine? And most people's response is, when you use fruits as an example to equate that sweetness, they overcome that challenge. And the number two thing about the product getting hardened is that we are unfranchised business owners. It's so easy to go through a bottle of OPC or anything in a month, right? But being customers, they may be just following the dosage on the bottle. So when we understand that, customers will not buy a lot for a start. So it's always good to advise them to put it in the refrigerator, especially in Singapore, in Malaysia. We are in a very humid region and it's so hot, the climate. So always put it in the refrigerator. And I have to mention a customer that I'm very proud of. She actually invests and buy a wine chiller to store all our isotonics. So until today, she's still a regular and very loyal customer. So we explain to them and help them overcome those challenges. And one customer I have to mention, she said that sweetness, your product is so sweet, the ends are coming. So I checked with her how she's using it. And she said, well, I pour and measure and it dropped onto the table. And by the end of the day, the ends are there. Then I said, well, it's actually a hygiene problem, but we shouldn't say that. We just say, oh, maybe you just have to put it in the refrigerator. You would have the problem.
Thank you, Charlene. Yes, a hygiene problem indeed. Okay, how about David? What would you say is your commonly asked question?
Well, I think one common question is the price factor. Some consumers feel that isotonic is pretty expensive compared to what they can buy in the market. And when they say that, I always share with them this story that, that always very impactful for me, is that I have a good friend who went to see a doctor and she had dry eye problem. And after examining her eye, the doctor said, you should take omega-3. And she said, I'm taking omega-3 every day. And do you know what the doctor said? Change the brand. So this point to the fact that quality is quite important beside price. And because all supplements are not created equal. So I will always take the opportunity to share with them 3 things they should look out for when they are looking at supplements. 1, quality. Because quality means the kind of ingredients that is in the formulation, the serving size within the ingredient as well. For example, especially when you're dealing with natural ingredient, you need to go for patented ingredient so that the amount of active ingredient is consistent in your bottle. And for example, in our astaxanthin, we have asteril, which is a patented ingredient for this microalgae that provide us the astaxanthin. The other area is what I call the quality assurance. In other words, how consistent is the quality for every batches? So you need to be clear and confident that the product you are using today or to next month when you reorder are the same quality. That is quality assurance. And Market America has 2 tiers of quality assurance. First, at the manufacturer level, from the raw ingredient to the processed ingredient. And then at the Market America, they have a quality assurance division that have a second layer of quality assurance. So for instance, our fish oil, omega fish oil is pure, and you also gone through 200 checks, quality checks, before it even come out to the consumer. So quality assurance give us peace of mind, and quality give us the effectiveness of the ingredient. But the third factor that I always feel is so important for them to consider is the absorption rate of your ingredient. So no point having something you got in the stomach, it takes so long to be absorbed to the tissue. So I always talk about the isotonic absorption technology. That is by far the best absorption for all these supplementation that brings the ingredient to presented to tissue so real quick. And therefore, when you put these 3 together, quality assurance, and the absorption technology, you will find that isotonic line of delivery falls right in the center of this.
I feel like I'm in a proper product class now. I'm learning a lot. I really can't wait to, check out all the other classes. So actually, we've come to the end of our panel. This is all the time we have to discuss the questions. But before we go, we would love to wrap up with some of your favorite tips, business advice, or quotes. So maybe we can start with Sarah.
All right. So I would love to say that, like supplementation and taking care of ourselves starts when we are young. So don't ever feel like, like because we are young, so we take advantage of whatever that we have in our body right now. So we only have one life to live and we don't have spare parts in our body. So if we want to take care of ourselves and age gracefully, right, inside out, we should actually start supplementation ourselves right now, and understand more about what we really need, be sensitive to our body, take care of what we really, our lifestyle, and, what are the things that we usually eat, so that we will actually find what are the things that we can help ourselves and we can age gracefully in the later days.
Thank you, Sarah. Emily, would you like to share?
Yeah. Okay. Only bacteria and viruses thrive and live well in a poorly cared for body. So we need to really take good care of our body in order to, enforce the immunity in us. And so we do that by making the right nutritional choices every day, whatever your age, as Sarah said, even when you're young. Even if you just begin with, one isotonic product like the multivitamin, and you will reap the benefits of it in the weeks and months to come. And so we only have one life, invest in it, and live to the fullest and help others to do the same.
It's well said, Emily. Charlene, any advices?
Okay. We have many products and we work with a wonderful company who is a product broker. So the company is a platform with endless solutions that's always coming up for us to share with our customers. So we grow with the customer, we age with the customer, we have lots of solutions. But lastly, one tip I want to borrow from the director of TRS, Roseanne Howe, is she said, it's always better to be in your body than to be in the bottle. So we only have one place to live. So invest in that body. Thank you.
So powerful. You have to put it in your body, not leave it in the bottle. And last but not least, the gentleman of the panel, David.
Well, that's to sum up the panel's views and discussion. We all know that you are what you eat. But one tip for you is you are actually what you absorb. So if you think about absorption and you think about isotonic for your supplements, then you're on the right track towards a healthier body.
Amazing. Thank you so much, panelists. We have a very insightful panel today. I'm sure that the audience took away a lot of, nuggets and a lot of little stories that they can share. And I hope you're inspired to take action and share with the people around you. If let's say you can't get enough of the speakers, like I can't get enough of them, then make sure you go check out the GMTSS to see the product classes. And also bring your friends, your family, or your partners along with you. That would be very result producing as well. So I hope that, you guys will continue to invest in your health in terms of knowledge, in terms of our isotonics as well. Back to you, Hong Kong.